Well, Helen Ugabuga has made waves this week. She's the first African woman to be elected as the new mayor of Galway City. What are we supposed to say? I don't know what we're supposed to say anymore. Suicidal empathy, that's one thing that comes to mind, because these people aren't elected. There wasn't a bunch of people from Galway going out voting for some Wakandan chick to be the mayor of Galway. That doesn't happen. They're elected or selected by their peers. So in terms of suicidal empathy or being deliberate or doing something on purpose, what exactly is happening in the political landscape of Ireland, where every single small town, medium-sized town, or even the bigger cities now all of a sudden has an overwhelming number of Africans or Jeets or whatever it may be in positions of power politically? Interesting, isn't it? Old Helen Ugabuga here, she's a complete spoofer as well, and that was very easy to find after a 30-second Wikipedia search. She came to Ireland as a refugee, and that's one of the virtuous points that keeps getting brought up this week. She came here as a refugee, and now she's the mayor of Galway, and she's done so much for the community in the last 15 years. Sure. She came here in 2006, fleeing Nigeria because of the assassination of her husband, who was a political leader in that region. So she's granted asylum in Ireland because her husband was assassinated in 2006. I don't understand why that's our problem, but cool, let's send some tax money over to her to have a house and a bunch of kids and stuff like that. The only little sticking point there is that her husband wasn't actually dead in 2006. He randomly was assassinated 4 years later. So when we find out about Councillor Helen Ugabuga, it says that in 2006, my family and I moved to Ireland seeking safety and a fresh start after a tragic loss of my husband. Since then, Galway has been my home, and I've dedicated myself to giving back to the community that welcomed us. I've spent over 18 years volunteering, mentoring, advocating for social justice, women's rights, and mental health. A lot of buzzwords. And as we see over here from the Galway Advertiser, her husband lost his life in 2010, and that's pretty well documented. It's interesting clarification, not that it would matter to the majority of people who put her in this position, but she is a lawyer. She did claim benefits for many a year. She was propped up by Irish taxpayers, and now because of the inherent empathy of Irish people to denigrate their own people, she's in a position of power. We had this story that went viral there during the week about the lad from Clonakilty. I guess he's from Bangladesh or something. He is the mayor of Clonakilty, population 6,000. Who elected him? Who selected him? I think that there's some controversy spinning around the two boys that are pictured here. Apparently they're Irish patriots or something like that, as you would be, holding up some dude from Bangladesh as your mayor. Pathetic and disgusting, deliberate, on purpose. There's nothing else I can say, but again, these two stories were very prevalent this week, and I don't think that they're new because, this was an 18-year-old story. From asylum seeker to Ireland's first black mayor in 7 years. Alright, this lad, he arrived as an asylum seeker, and lickety spliff, he is the mayor of Dublin, as you'd expect. What about old baby Pepe Dabadabadan? He's Ireland's first Indian mayor. That's an interesting little stat as well. That's from 2024. We've got a Wakandan becoming the first mayor of Derry up in Northern Ireland. We couldn't go without talking about old Hazel Shu, the Chinese mayor, on racism, her parents' work ethic, and teaching poor children in China and teach them over there. I don't understand why I have to endure every single mainstream broadcaster rolling this. Someone wants to talk about racism or women's rights. Never ever do we hear anything about the Irish people, the ethnic people being put first. Obviously not. That's why we have baby Papa Damadan and Helen Ugabuga and the rest of the boys there that are all mayors after being asylum seekers. This one was a very interesting one. The first Muslim councillor says most people are welcoming and like to hear new voices. He's pretty well known in Limerick, and he should be very well known in Ireland because he wanted to see Irish people shot in the head. This is a headline from the mainstream. This dude was advocating for Irish men, women and children to be shot in the head for protesting. Why were they protesting, you ask? Well, 3 young kids were attacked by a migrant on the streets of Dublin. He was going for their heart and their throats with a very big knife. And as you would expect, the local people took offence to that and went out and protested. And this dude gets to hold his position as a councillor as a politician, as a mayor, saying that he wants to see these Irish people shot in the head. Imagine the inversion of that. You would be looking at serious time in prison if you said anything related to an Indian, a Bangladeshi, an African, a Muslim, whatever it may be. Anything even related to what he said, you're going to jail.